Love Lies Bleeding is now out in theaters. Is it any good? Let's find out right now. Welcome back everyone to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. As I said in the intro, today I'll be reviewing Love Lies Bleeding. It's now hitting theaters worldwide. It had a limited release last week, but I was finally able to see it this week. Before I get started, make sure to leave a like, follow me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter. I'm very active on all those social media platforms. I'm going to read you guys a quick plot synopsis of the movie, just so you know what it is about. Lou is a reclusive gym manager who falls hard for Jackie, an ambitious bodybuilder who's heading to Las Vegas to pursue her dreams. Their love soon leads to violence as they get pulled deep into a web of Lou's criminal family. Before I get into my full thoughts on the movie, I do want to say that honestly, I do kind of recommend going into this not watching the trailer, because I watched the first trailer and I think it gave a little bit away that I didn't want to see. And I've heard that people had a more of a, a fun time, more of an experience with not watching any of the trailers. So maybe don't watch any of the trailers. I will say this is like a neo-noir dark thriller, very nitty gritty kind of graphic thriller at times. So that's kind of all you need to go into it with that little plot description. And I thought it was really good to great tier. Like I'm on the edge of great tier, but I'm on the edge of like the really good. But I honestly, I'm very close to thinking it's great. I need to go see it again because this is such an interesting film to take in all at once. Like there's so much happening, so much gnarly stuff happening at some points, and some of the scenes caught me off guard. I was like, what the heck? I was not prepared for that. So I'm definitely gonna have to see this again. It's one of those A24 films that just hits you hard, keeps you going throughout the whole runtime, because it is pretty short compared to other A24 films. But yeah, I really do think it was great. Let's get to the direction first. This is directed by Rose Glass. She actually directed Saint Maud before this. I think that came out in 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure if that's her only film. She might have some other smaller films, but I think Saint Maud is her biggest film. And I've never seen that one because when I first saw the trailer, when the trailer first dropped, I think I was seeing Uncut Gems when I saw the trailer. I was way too scared to see that movie. Like some of that stuff in that movie looked way too gnarly for me at the time, because I wasn't watching a lot of horror movies back in like 2019, 2020, so I didn't even attempt to go see that movie. But I've heard it's great, so maybe I'll come around to watch that, in a couple years, maybe I'll watch that again and try to watch it. But I just didn't, I couldn't do it. Some horror stuff is a little too graphic for me. So this is my first Rose Glass film, so I didn't know what to expect from her direction. But I kind of got a little bit of Cronenberg out of her. If you haven't seen any of Cronenberg's movies, it's kind of like body horror, kind of like a lot of graphic stuff. And I kind of like got that out of her from this. A lot of stuff I wasn't expecting here. And I really like what she did here though. Like, so especially when she went for those ballsy graphic moments, because some of that might not work for some other people. And one element didn't work for me in particular, but I liked a lot of the other graphic stuff that she did go for, a lot of the artsy stuff, because I thought that it was crafted very well, and I think that she directed it very well. Like I was surprised that how well it was directed, considering some thrillers are just directed with just no flair at all. I think this movie had a lot of flair, and I think she put a lot of guts into it, so I really liked her direction. And this is an A24 film, and so I do want to spend a little time talking about A24. They've been on a roll lately with Priscilla, which I think that's great. The Iron Claw, I think that's amazing. It's in my top 5, top 10 of last year. In the Zone of Interest, I thought that one was great too, but that's not going to be for everyone. It's a horrifying film. And then and now this is their first or second film this year. I kind of forget, but yeah, I think this one's also great. But I don't think this one's going to be for everyone. It's thrillers sometimes aren't for everyone, and this subject on this one isn't going to work for everyone. And A24 has a lot more movies coming this year. Some of them they have are Sing Sing, which looks great from the trailer, A Different Man, Civil War, which might not be great, and I Saw the TV Glow, that has a lot of great reviews. Those are the biggest A24 films that are still to come this year. They're on a roll. A24 does a good job of balancing making their own in-studio stuff and buying stuff from other film festivals like Sundance and I think just Sundance mostly. But yeah, they do a great job of that. So hopefully their movies this year do a lot better than last year, because last year they had a lot of flops. But I think Love Lies Bleeding is going to be, I think it will do good business. I'm not sure what the budget is, but A24, they're on a roll with this year. And let's talk about the cast. Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien are the two leads of this movie, and they're both great. But Katie O'Brien instantly steals the show for me once she comes on screen, because her character is the bodybuilder character of the movie, and she's absolutely ripped, and she's ripped in real life. But in this movie, she's insanely ripped. In some moments, she's she's looks like a monster, let's just say that. And her character does take a lot of steroids because, bodybuilders, they take a lot of some steroids to go to those bodybuilder competitions. And, I thought that her performance was great here. It's kind of funny because she was in Quantumania last year, and I thought that movie was terrible. She did a total 180. Now she's in this, and this is a great, like, art house film, I would say. Kristen Stewart, I don't really see her in much lately. She's not really in a lot lately, but she's really good when she does show up and act in a movie. Ed Harris has a small role. I think he's very scary in this movie. And Dave Franco surprised me. I didn't even know he was in this movie, but I guess he does have a role in it. But I think he was pretty good in his small role. And I really do need to see Katie O'Brien in more movies because she's awesome in this movie. Like, her on-screen presence is absolutely scary, especially with her build. She looks great in this movie, let's just say that. And let's talk about the action slash gore in this movie. There was some crazy and gnarly stuff in this film, but it's done with some interesting and really cool style and flair that I really enjoyed. And there's one scene at a bodybuilder competition where it had my jaw dropped because something very unexpected happens and it is insanely gross. I was like, what are we doing here? What's going on here? And it involves Katie O'Brien's character, and I'm like, that was disgusting, but somehow really interesting and well done. I don't know whose idea it was to do that, but it just leads to more insane moments like that. The bodybuilder competition, I think, is where it gets the most insane, and it just keeps going from there, and it just keeps building. And I'm like, holy crap, that's a very interesting scene. And there's one crazy scene with Katie O'Brien and Dave Franco. I was like, oh my goodness, they're going for it all here, and it kind of works a lot. And there's as I said, there's some body horror in this movie, which is something that kind of gets to me. I don't like seeing a lot of body horror, so if you don't like that, this movie might not be for you. But I wouldn't say it's too extreme. It's just that one moment in the bodybuilder competition, which I think is the most body horror elements in the movie. So yeah, some of the action is really cool, really gnarly, and some of it was just so unexpected. So some moments just come out of nowhere, and I really like when films do that. Just don't have any of it spoiled for you, I'd say. And it's a quick, an hour and 45-minute movie, so it has quick pace. Really like that. If it's a thriller, I think your thriller should have a good pace because that keeps the thriller going, keeps you feeling, keeps your heart rate going. My heart rate was going through this movie. I was like, I need to be connected to something because this movie is doing things to me, making me go insane. But I think the pace was really well done. But overall, Love Lies Bleeding is another great A24 film. I was really surprised with this one, even though it was getting good reviews out of Sundance. I think it did premiere. Even though it was getting good reviews out of Sundance, I was really impressed with the direction by Rose Glass, really impressed by the performance, especially from Katie O'Brien. Kristen Stewart always gives a great performance, but Katie O'Brien did a great job. It's paced really well. There's some very gnarly, graphic moments in this film, especially at that bodybuilder competition, as I said. So I really enjoyed it. I need to go watch it again because I need to take this all in again because it just moves so fast. So Love Lies Bleeding, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Such a strong movie, such a strong thriller. I love a strong thriller, and I think this is easily going to put this film at my number 2 of the year because the year's not that strong so far, but let's see what else March has because this one was really great. But let me know down in the comments, did you guys watch Love Lies Bleeding? If you did, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you did enjoy my review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.